One day where I was, they said my introduction was way too long, so I have to shorten it. Welcome, my name is Bright Malufu. Today we are going to be discussing about mindset. What is mindset? What does mindset really do? What is the mechanism in the mindset system and how to program the mindset? Today with me here I've got Mr. Beggy and Mr. Victor. They are going to be the big fishes in this conversation. Welcome, Mr. Beggy.
Yes, hello, and how are you? It is a great pleasure to to be here with you and talk about issues that I believe they really affect us in life. Um, as Bright as said what we're gonna be talking about, which is the mindset, which I believe is the greatest thing that everybody else should be very conscious about. Because a mind is everything, man. It is everything. Without the mind, then we are as good as animals.
To say about the mindset anyway.
Okay, so mindset basically, this is where we all start. And thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited. I'm excited to get rolling with this, with this episode and everything. But mindset basically, whenever you want to start something or make a change in your life, but I mean like a real change in your life, you have to start with mindsets. I mean, without a proper foundation and you build a building, the building's going to have cracks. It's going to fall over. It's going to fall down. So the foundation of becoming the best version of yourself to be the most successful that you can be in your life will be the mindset. So, I'm excited to be here and great. I mean, I think we're going to have a fantastic discussion today, guys. So, anyways, back over to you.
According to the statement that you just said, Mr. Victor, I think I don't know if I understood what exactly you said. You are saying that mindset is more like a piece of software which is programmed to do a certain task. Are you with me there?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a very good way to put it. So basically, since we've been even teenagers and younger than teenagers, our brains have been programmed into a certain way. Okay, and in certain circumstances, we've had areas where we need to be disciplined. But a lot of people, as they get older, kind of veer off, a little bit, and get into silly things like Netflix and gaming and cheap dopamine hits, and you basically wired your brain to always accept these, and you don't have the mindset of discipline, of the correct diet, people eating, too many refined sugars and all of that. And everything has basically been programmed into us. So we basically spend money on this. And what we need to do now to refrain and to go away from these cheap dopamine hits, we rewire our brain back to having, certain steps like discipline, certain diets, sleeping, things like that, which is very important, and we don't take as important as we should. So yes, it's a rewiring of the brain, like a software upload or whatever the case is, and I think that's a perfect analogy that you gave.
Thank you, Mr. Victor. What can you add there, Mr. Beggy?
Yes, like my colleague here has stated, mind is everything, man. And there is nothing you can do in this life without the mind. Okay. What is a mind? A mind is a thinking mechanism that we use to think. And God, I believe God communicate with us through the mind. In other words, God is the power that is able to do anything for us, whatever we want. But He only understands us through our thinking. So He is the power that is there for us that every one of us can use, and He only responds to the way we think. In other words, you think, then it's like there's a mirror on the other side that is reflecting back to whatever you are thinking about. So a mind is very, 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 very important in human beings.
So do you
Now,
in this case do you say a mind and God is yourself anyway? You
yes,
say it's a mirror and you'll be watching the mirror, of which if you watch the mirror you'll be watching yourself and you see God and God is speaking to you through the mind.
yes, like I'm saying, let me just go back a little bit just for the sake of this discussion. If we can say what is a human being, so for me, a human being is the body, spirit, and
Are you recording?
the mind. So I was saying, what is a human being in short? A human being is mind, body, and spirit. The body is nothing. It is just the house where we live. And who are we? We are spirit. And God has gifted us with a mind that enables us to think. So, what I can say, there is a power in the world that can do anything for us. It is powerful. It is so powerful. It is so powerful, and it only responds to our thinking. Now, whatever you think about, it's like you are reflecting back. God reflects back to whatever you're thinking, in the manner that you say it, and you get the reply exactly the same like you have asked, or whatever you've been thinking about. So he does it in the proportion, in the manner that you think. So if you think small, that means you get the answers that are exactly in proportion with what you ask God for.
So now you're running into a proverb that whatever you plow you're gonna ripe.
Yes,
Like what you saw.
like it was written, whatever a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever you spend your time thinking about, you become that.
What does
So
Mr. Victor has to say about that one anyway?
Okay, but what you think you are, that was a great statement that Bruce Lee said. And basically, I think about the whole situation, and I mean, it's like looking at yourself in a mirror, and yes, you know, seeing God or speaking to God. But I'd take something out of my educational, basically what I found out about Alex Hormozy and researched about him. And the one thing I like about, you know, one of his methods is to speak to your future self. So you speak to your 80-year-old self every single day, okay? And you may not get the answers, you may get the answers, okay? But it's like yourself looking down upon you, you know, am I achieving what I need to achieve? Will you be proud of me when I'm that age? You know, can I become successful in this? And again, you may not get the answers by speaking to your future self in this way, but what you can find different avenues, different thought paths, you know, that can get you to the answer that you need at the time. So sort of similar, you know, but me, it's more so speaking to my future self every day and just making sure that, you know, am I on the right path, and basically it just keeps you, you know, on track and for success, yeah.
Yeah. What do you say about when you say that plan your day a day before? What are you talking about on that one?
Okay, so basically, yeah, we talk about we're going into the discipline and routine. Okay, so what I'm talking about is plan your day before. So most people don't really plan their days. They get home, kick off their shoes, put on some Netflix, or you know, order takeouts, and then that's the evening over. Or put the PlayStation on and start playing. And don't worry about the next day. So that sort of escape out of that. Then the next day comes, and basically what's happening is you do your normal routine. You get up, you have a shower, do whatever the case is, you know. But you don't have any other structure. So it's like you might be 2 hours away from going to work. Okay, so what am I going to do in the 2 hours? I have my coffee, I have my breakfast. I'll put some YouTube on. Or I'll start scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or whatever the case is. All right, then the time comes, so I'll go to work. Do your work, come back, whatever the case is, same thing.
You're doing the same thing always.
So if you take If you want to become successful in your life, and I know a lot of people have their 9 to 5, okay,
Yeah.
and they have to work their 9 to 5. But what are you doing between the time you wake up and also what time you wake up, which is important? By the time you wake up till the time you have to go to work, till the time you get back home, till the time you go to sleep. So what are you doing with that time? Okay, and it's mostly nothing.
It's more
Cheap
like waste of
dopamine
time.
hits, gaming, Netflix, what. Okay, so if you're planning your day the day
Day
before,
before.
you know exactly, I'm going to get up 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever time you're going to get.
Every day
I'm going to get up
routine.
at that time. All right, have my breakfast, go to the gym, or go for a jog, or whatever the case is. So now you're working on your health and yourself, which is obviously very
Where
important.
exactly is it helping by exercising every day or getting to the gym? Maybe you mentioned about taking a walk almost 30 minutes every day. Or
Yeah,
where
100% right.
exactly is it helping in the human?
Okay, so obviously exercise is fantastic in the human body. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, a healthy body is a healthy mind. So if you sitting and you eating junk food all the time, eating your packet of chips, drinking your Coke, all of that, you're putting a lot of sugar into your body all the time, whatever the case is. But now you're sitting around and you're not using it. Now sugar's obviously bad in itself, and that's another discussion. But basically, you're sitting around getting lazy, and then you're starting to get fat. Okay, let's just face it. You're starting to pick up weight, whatever the case is, you get lazy, and because that's all you do. So if you don't do that, it really obviously affects everything, insulin resistance, all of those sorts of things and whatever. So we want to get away from that. However, by doing exercise every day, you have a clearer mind. You know you're working on your body. So basically, what happens is you get well, how I feel is a lot more confidence in the world, and then a lot more drive that I want to achieve what I want to achieve. Okay. Going for a jog in the morning for me, and everybody's different, but going for a jog in the morning for me is better than a cup of coffee. Okay, like 100 times better than a cup of coffee. Because then I'm ready and I'm focused and I'm getting into my day. When we're talking about 30-minute walks, so it's always important to, and especially this is in conjunction with sunlight and that, is to actually go out and every day, just for 30 minutes, even if it's a lunch break on your 9 to 5 or whatever the case is, go and have a 30-minute walk, preferably with a hot drink, either tea, coffee, whatever, and get some sun. So obviously getting our vitamin D from the sun and all of that. But we're also doing exercise. We're also getting the blood flowing as well. Okay. But we're not exerting ourselves. It's not uncomfortable. You know, we can open our minds at the same time then as well. So yeah. So for that, yeah.
What is Mr. Beg have to say about this one?
Yes, like my colleague here has said, discipline it's the word. Um, if you can't discipline yourself, then there's nothing you can do. Look, the word that springs up to my mind when we talk about discipline is changes. Because essentially, a human being wants to be happy, wants to be healthy, and they want to succeed in life. But it's like there's a giant of a mountain between where you want to go, like to your success. This giant is like it's like a wall, which is doubt and procrastination. For you to get to the other side of the road, there is a mechanism. Discipline is another mechanism. In other words, you are setting up a routine for yourself, a command for yourself, so that you build up to what you want to do, to your goal or to your healthy issues or whatever you want to do. If you don't discipline yourself, then there's nothing that you can do. What is discipline? It's a set of routines that you set for yourself. And discipline is not a one-day thing that I'm just going to do this. Then it should be a constant. It's a lifetime
It's a
thing.
setup. It's an
Yeah,
everyday
it's an
routine.
everyday thing.
It's a
It's a
program.
lifetime thing. So it's like a lifestyle. So if you deviate from what you want to do, then you have messed up everything. For me, discipline is like it's like this law of sowing and reaping. You know, because Whatever you sow, you will reap it. And you don't only reap it, you reap it 10 times or 100 times more. So discipline is like every little discipline, for every little discipline, you get some reward. So if you don't do it, then that means you've missed out. What is that gonna do for you? You get the rewards that are actually in contrast to what you want to do. So discipline is the word, and is the most important thing in our lives. So change is everything in our lives. And what is change? Then we got to change. Change is like you are moving from one point. Suppose you don't see your view clearly. You are going to the upper view, to the upper thing, so that you can see clearly where you want to go. So change. If you can change, everything changes for you. It's like you are moving from one position to another, where you can see your dreams, or your set of goals where you want to be. And for you to get there, you got to discipline yourself. Yes.
According to the statement that you just said now, Mr. Peggy, do you say discipline you have to learn or practice, or anything what to have to do to obtain discipline?
Yes, yes. Discipline is not easy, because you can choose, and you can choose not to do anything, which is easy. If you wake up and do anything, it's easy.
So you can choose not to have discipline at all.
Yes,
Well, most people
every
choose not to have discipline
yes,
at the end of the
yes,
day.
every little step that you take as a discipline, it's very important, because what does that do? Bit by bit, it gives you courage, it gives you stamina, strength, and that helps you to get courage.
That goes back to the daily planning. So that goes back to the daily planning side of everything. So every single day, plan your day, what you're going to do. And like I was going to say, I didn't get, so you go to work. After work, you come back. And then basically, now you need to work on something. Everybody wants to have financial freedom. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be their own boss. So why don't you do it? You know what I mean? Then you can spend that time like on the daily planning, and you can go, all right, let me learn a subject. It's so easy. There's so much good information on YouTube and tutorials and courses that you go for free that you're not even paying for, that you can basically start earning more money, and eventually having that as your primary financial income. And at the end of the day, that only takes discipline. So that's why the planning is important, making sure that you get to the gym so you're focused, you get to work, you know when you're coming home, you're eating right, and you're basically working on your business. So you're working on yourself all the time to try and get out of what the so-called rat race, you know, that everybody's in the 9 to 5, you know, chasing the balls, chasing the weekends, all of these sorts of things. And they get out of discipline. The only discipline that people have really there is, oh, no, I need to be at work at X time, and I'm going to leave at X time, and my breaks are at X time. That's as much discipline as they got, and obviously discipline within their work, I'm sure. There are people that do gym and whatever the case is, but maybe can, you know, sacrifice the evening to gaming or whatever the case is. So, yeah, 100%. It's rewind and repeat, do the same thing every single day. It sounds so boring and monotonous, but if you do that for a certain amount of time, then you can have the days and the weekends and whatever, you know, to let loose a little bit, see the friends, you know.
The law of the mind is repetition. In other words, we did not get to where we are just like that. But it was a series of repeating habits, whether it was good habits or bad habits. But then it's a series of repetition, and in that sense, you are forming up a program, which we sometimes call a paradigm. So what is it? What is a paradigm? It is a habitual behavior or a habitual thinking. So so for us to learn anything, we need to repeat it as many times as possible. Hence, discipline helps us to achieve that. Then you have to repeat a certain task time and time again until you are able to do it even without any difficulty. Yes.
And another big thing is as well, is even if you're tired, you didn't sleep well the night before, you know, or something came up, somebody woke you up at 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever the case is, and you really don't feel like doing what you planned that night before the next day, discipline is doing it. Even if you feel like you don't want to do it, do it. I mean, ultimately that's what it is. And that's the hardest thing to overcome, because so many people will have an excuse in their head. But I can do this. But I don't really feel like this now. It'll be better just to watch something or scroll through my
Yes,
whatever.
because yeah, again to add up to what you said, discipline is the opposite of procrastination. Giving excuses for everything. But if you own up to whatever you want to do, instead of blaming this, blaming your mom, blaming school, blaming everything, just take one step at a time, following obviously the routine, which is discipline. So a discipline acts like more like a catalyst, because then it trains your mind to 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 do a certain thing, so that it becomes a motivator. Even if you do discipline yourself for a period of time, if you don't do it, you feel like there's something that you haven't done. So for me, it is like that, because the topic is the mindset. Obviously, what is important is training your mind to do something. You are training your mind to follow a certain routine. So you don't want to fail. Every day you got to do it until it is part of yourself.
How easy is to train your mind?
Obviously, it's not difficult. That's why so many people are not doing it. But training your mind is like being born again. You are renewing your mind. You've been living a certain way for a period of time, and it was repetition of things, bad habits, one day at a time. What is failure? Doing the same trivial things over and over again. It's equal to failure. But if you do the right thing over and over, simple things every day, one at a time, every day, repeatedly, is equal to success. So obviously, training your mind is not easy, because your mind is used to doing a certain thing a different way. Now, because it has been doing it for a long time, in the same way, you got to do a reversal of what you've been doing. Now, doing the right way, bit by bit, day every day, and you do it repeatedly. Bit by bit, your bad habits will be falling off until you reach the man that you want to be.
Like I think everyone wants to be successful in life.
Yes.
What makes them not to follow those full steps that you were talking about discipline? Because you, according to the statement that you have just said, you say when you've got discipline, you are so close to success. And so
Yes.
why is it not everyone going for discipline so that obtain the success?
Yeah,
Yes.
can I throw something in there quickly? Okay. Most people run towards pleasure and away from
Thank you.
pain.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Successful people run towards pain and away from pleasure. And that's the simple answer.
Yes.
Okay. People would rather be comfortable and complacent in their lives, you know. Got the place, got hot water running, what? I'm comfortable, I don't need anything anymore. So I'm never going to achieve anything more in my life. Okay, because I'm running towards pleasure. But if you run towards the pain, and this is a big thing as well, most people, majority of people are afraid of failure.
Yes.
So if you want to succeed in your life, you've got to run towards that pain. Failure is pain. Guess what? You're going to fail 10 times more than you're going to succeed in life.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yes.
But when you fail 10 times, would you like to try again?
You have to.
Yeah,
Because that's the
why.
only way you learn.
Yeah,
It's the only way you learn.
that's why we talk about discipline. Obviously, if you do discipline, you like somebody who's carrying a lunch bag. If you do one thing at a time, it's like you are storing it in yourself, in your subconscious mind. And in due time, when you need it, that's why we talk about courage as another important attribution to success. Because you need courage, so that even if you fail, you've got that motivation inside yourself that gives you that drive.
What may makes you fail 10 times when someone tries once and go?
It's got to do with your mind. It's got to do with pride not practicing enough. Then most of us we fail because of the paradigm.
But in a
Remember,
class,
eh?
in a class of 40 students, one teacher, the teacher teaches one time, but
Yes.
someone else will come to the
Yeah,
first.
like I said, it's a paradigm.
Yeah, but I think we're talking about, so you're saying somebody that just achieves first time and becomes successful. That is highly unlikely, that anybody can be that, unless you're born perhaps into money, okay, or born into privilege. Okay. All right. I can guarantee you, the best of the best, Usain Bolt, fastest man in the world, he didn't get there like that.
Yeah.
He worked hard. Okay.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't Mr. Universe for 7 times in a row just because he had to work hard. Successful people work hard and they fail more than they succeed, but they don't live in the failure. They don't live in the doubt. You know? And that's where the mindset, that's where the rewiring of the mindset comes in. Is if you can accept that we can go forward, whatever whatever path I take in life, as long as it's a good path, whatever I want to achieve in my life, I have to accept that there is going to be failure at some point, and you're not going to succeed. You're not going to be the best at that job or at whatever you're doing when you start. Nobody is. Okay. At the end of the day, it takes work and it takes courage and it takes the running towards pain. And a lot of people, if they fail once, then that's it. Then I'm not going to try it again. I'm happy with my job. I'm not going to try to do this because I failed once. How many times have you failed in your life?
So many times.
But you see how we are today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are more failures than success. So it's just that people are so concerned about success. As if someone was born successful. But he has to pay up. You got to pay a price for whatever you do. Discipline is another way of paying the price. You got to pay the. There's no free lunch. You got to pay the price to get where you are going.
At times I feel like if I fail once, I try the second time, then I fail. Then I say, no, this thing is not for me.
Look at the guy. What's his name? Who developed a bulb? They say he failed about 500 times trying to develop this lighting device.
Oh, Alexander Graham Bell.
Yes. Now, at the end of the day, after failing so many times, we've got the bulb that is lighting for everyone in the world. It's incredible. Yes. So you got to train your heart to be strong in times of difficulties. That's what courage is all about.
But failing 500 times
Yes.
and you get successful at last,
Yes.
how do you survive in these calculated from 500 times?
You want to train. That's why we talk about training your mind.
So you train that mind for these 500.
Yeah, sure.
We are talking about maybe more than 10 or 15 years.
Let me give you an example. Another faculty of the mind is perception.
Perception.
Look, somebody can come here and just say a silhouette, or so offensive, whatever, but or something that can make all of us sad. But then the way you're gonna take it and the way I'm gonna take it, the way Victor is gonna take it is totally different.
Different, correct.
Some people want to stay in a positive vibration. Some people want to stay in a negative vibration. Whether it's the blaming or why God, why me. But somebody will see the other side that is brighter. I mean, you will take it different and say maybe it is not the time. Then he finds strength in that. But when you take it negatively, you just give up.
Mr. Victor,
Yeah, so basically, I just want to add just the last one into that. Okay? So what it is, that's an extreme example with the bulb, okay? Because we didn't have electricity, it didn't exist. Today, if you want to become successful, you got a laptop, you got data, you got no excuse, okay? It's not going to take 500 times of failure. However, I'll just give you guys one piece of advice, to the audience today. If you failed at a particular item, then take cognizance of it. Actually go, and this is another good tip as well, do your wins and losses in the evening when you do your daily planning as well. Because what you can do is you can think of another angle to attack the goal, to get to the goal. But if you're doing the same thing over and over, okay,
you keep failing and failing and
so
failing.
you fail once, let's think of a
Change
different
style.
direction. Let's think of a different angle to get to this goal.
And I mean, to support, Victor once spoke about self-talk. when you are talking about how your future you.
Yeah, your future self. Yeah.
Look, the one motivation that we have is your goal, your future you. What do you say when you talk to yourself? Auto suggestion. So when you talk to yourself, it is like from yourself to yourself. Then it's a future you. And every day you wake up in the morning, you know who you want to be, who you are, because you are living that future you now, but you are quite. That's what faith is. Now it is that should be a drive. Your goals should be a drive more than anything else. You by no means you don't want to fail. So that will pick you up. Yes.
You're correct there. Me, I don't even wish to fail, but I always fail every time I try something. I fail.
Yes.
Yeah. So go home tonight, start tonight. You write down what your wins and what your losses were today, what you could have done different, or you know, and you basically just do that, and then you plan your day tomorrow, and then you do the same thing over. And you'll find, and especially like you're mentioning there, going speaking to your future self, that also gives you another angle and another technique that you can use to get a different angle to the problem to try and achieve the goal by doing all of these things. And it's all about, at the end of the day, and I know we're going on a bit or whatever the case is, but with mindset and discipline, it's all about yourself and being the best possible version of yourself. And I find a lot of people worry too much about everybody else around them. You know what I mean? And what they think and what they think and what they think. I may not know you in 10 years' time. You may be living in America, I may be living in freaking China, I don't know. Okay? Alright? But I'm still going to know me in 10 years' time. You with me? Okay? So the best thing always is to speak to yourself. But if you need to like take advice from people or whatever the case is, if you've got a challenge, take that advice. You know? But don't rely on that advice.
Yes.
Okay, so you do the best for yourself. It's always working on yourself. It's always obviously the correct mindset, the exercise, and all of
Yes.
that.
Just to add on what Peter said, you see, the problem about us these days is like competition. We just want to compete without knowing why we're competing. Look, life is essentially one man's race. We are running together, but we've got different goals. So I don't need to compete with you or anybody else in the world. Why do we compete? Because we are not using our mind to create or to see ourselves. We just want to be like so and so, we want to be so and so. But then if you sit down and you talk to yourself and you make your goals according to what you want to be, not because somebody is achieved ABCD, because you are not him. So that's why I'm saying Victor has got a point there when he talks about we're not competing with anybody else. It is your own race, competing by yourself with yourself, but you've got other people running who are also doing their different race. Yes.
I just wanna go back a little bit where we were talking about change the diet.
Right, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
can that one be practiced or?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So basically, the biggest issue is a lot of people like the fast, easy way, start with fast food, or it's getting ready-made, whatever, or fried foods and all of that sort of stuff. Now, the biggest issue is that I do believe that we eat too much. So we've heard about fasting. I mean, that's very, very important, fasting, but I'll get into that now. B, we always eating crap and a lot of sugar. Everybody likes their chocolates. Everybody likes lots of sugars in their tea and coffee or the Coke or even the McDonald's and all of that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, it's very much designed to keep you going back and buying more.
Yes.
And your body doesn't need it. So what happens is your body's going to like start producing insulin. You're going to get insulin resistance, all of this stuff. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to feel good, and all of those sorts of things. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I'm not going to get into too much detail on the medical side of it. But as far as I understand and what I'm experiencing now, is that it's best to eat whole foods. So whole foods meaning your onions, potatoes, all of that you buy fresh foods. Okay. Don't eat box foods. Don't eat. You can treat yourself once in a while. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you want to have a burger a month, carry on and do that sort of thing. But I can tell you now, if you start cutting refined sugars out of your diet, and then cutting a lot of your ultra-processed foods, processed meats, so on and so forth, you're going to feel so much better, and also try and eat less. So what I do myself personally is I've got an 8-hour window where I eat. So 8 o'clock in the morning I'll have my breakfast, and then by 4 o'clock I'll have my supper. And it won't be a lot. I'm on a keto diet, so basically it's almost a carnivore diet. So it's basically just protein and animal fats. So it's only meats, eggs, cheese, yogurts, and a lot of fermented foods like sauerkraut, so on and so forth. So, and then I eat at 4 o'clock. And then for 16 hours I don't eat. And in the beginning it's quite hard and all of that, but I carry on and did. And obviously fruits and biltong and some nuts. And I feel 100 times, 1,000 times better, than I did when I was eating all the junk food. Because I used to eat a lot of junk food. I was much bigger than I am now. I was a very big guy.
Yes.
Okay, and I went through and I lost it. And diets is so important because, I mean, with everything that I've seen, because I'm very interested in it, okay? And like I said, you go to YouTube, you can find very, very enlightening and knowledgeable stuff there. And they're saying it's, we don't actually need sugar in our diets at all. So you eat fruit, especially berries, strawberries and whatever the case, blueberries, blackberries, and that's where we should really be getting our sugar from. And obviously, like I said, the rest is whole foods. I mean, if you take it, and this is the stat that I heard, that around more than 70% of the produce that you buy in supermarkets is ultra-processed food with added sugar, added sucrose, added fructose, all of those sorts of things. And it's just not good for you. And people get, I mean, at the end of the day, you start getting a what they call a non-alcoholic fatty liver, which is not good for your health. So your liver can't operate correctly. And at the end of the day, it's just having a balanced diet. Okay, whichever diet whichever diet anybody wants to do, but just make sure it's whole foods and fresh foods, and just basically leave all the processed stuff out. And you'll find, even if you decide to, I feel like having that burger once a month, that you'll actually be sick the next day. I mean, that's from my personal experience. Okay, I don't know the science of biology behind it, but I know it's definitely not good for you if it makes me feel like it. Yes. You know what I mean?
This is just off topic, but I'm just thinking of, do those guys who are eating from the dustbin, can they be able to correct their mindset?
So the guys eating from
the dustbin.
Okay, so we're talking about all right, the homeless, basically homeless guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Or people that are impoverished. Okay. Impoverished. So for them, they've gone down a path. Life's taken them down a path, and all I can say is there may have been circumstances in their life, wrong choices in their life, so on and so forth. So for that, I mean, to be honest with you, they'd have to start somewhere within themselves, but I'd say they're going to have to start somewhere like, if they're religious, start at a church. There's recovery halfway places and people that can help you, non-profit organizations. And I've known a few. I believe there's one in Midrand. I think it's still open. I can't remember the name now, but there was a guy who was also homeless, an Indian guy. So he was a drug addict and basically fell homeless at 40 or after 40. And in a few years, he basically got to the recycling side of it. And now he's got an entire recycling warehouse in Midrand, but in the back they've got like a woodworking place. So they take old furniture, they fix furniture, or they make furniture,
Yes,
whatever.
yeah.
And then it's obviously the more impoverished they come there, all right. So they can send their bowls and do their recycling, but they can also sit there and work.
So that mind can be restored.
They
Yes.
can be
To,
restored,
to,
yeah.
to add on that,
I believe it.
that's what
But
we,
it's up to the individual. Everything's about yourself.
yeah, like to add on that, that's why we're talking about the mind. And we've been saying a mind can virtually learn anything. That's why we talk about paradigm shift. But then it's not an easy thing because a man has been living in that state for a long period of time. So for you to do it, it's got to be another rigorous way of doing it again. You got to do it again thoroughly as it's been happening to you.
This
Yeah.
means you'll be regaining your mindset.
Yes, like we always say, like we talk about a paradigm as the renewing of the mind, uh, learning something, training your mind to act in a certain way. In other words, you are reprogramming it. You are putting a new software. It's not going to be easy because you've been living a certain way for a long period of time. Now you are saying you are doing a reversal of what you are doing. Like anything else, you need disciplines. You need routines for you to come out properly. Yes. So yeah.
100%. And I mean, that's obviously the extreme cases, but yes, I have heard of stories. And that particular one that I was talking about, I mean, they had a few people that basically got off the streets. So yeah, it's 100% you can. It's just obviously in their situation, it's quite desperate and dire. But you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you've got
Yeah.
discipline, you can get there. Now, obviously, with diets, we're not really worried you know, as long as they can get food, they can get food. Okay, so obviously, you know, when you're talking about diet, you got to be in a certain, you know, space and let them, um, you know, get the food. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever
Yes.
they can get, they can get. I mean, they don't have to worry about them now. The first thing they have to worry about is now getting their mindset right that they can actually move forward.
You were talking about you have to drink at least 3 liters of water almost every day. What
Oh
will you?
yeah, 3 liters of water. Yeah. So basically, in my diet, all I drink is water. Try get fresh water if you can. Otherwise, you know, the tap water is only available. Um, basically, it oxygenates your blood, and also it just cleans your body out. And I mean, at the end of the day, we mostly made up of water. I think it's 60 or 70% or something like that.
Yeah.
So for me and my diets, I'll probably have like one, maybe 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I drink water throughout. So I mean, at the end of the day, think about it. We didn't have, if we're talking about like the Stone Age days, we were hunter-gatherers going out there. We didn't have Coca-Cola, Pepsi, what. Okay, you know what I mean. All we had is water. So our body is not, and the problem obviously with those, even fruit juices, and this is what I found out, even fruit juices have high sugar, added sugar in it,
Yeah.
and they've obviously taken out the fiber there. And then we obviously know the Cokes and all of that. Now I do understand that you get Coke Zero, you know, and your artificial sweeteners. Now, I don't have a lot of knowledge on artificial sweeteners or anything like that, but I mean, if you want to have something fizzy and gassy, go do that. I just find that anything that is ultra processed, so anything that's got more than like 6 items in it, is literally ultra processed. And when you look at those bottles, they've got everything. But no, at the end of the day, water is the best for you. Your body's made up of water. It cleans out your kidneys. You know, it just keeps your body in right. It's also very good. Also, when you exercise as well. So it's good to, especially if you're doing weight training and things like that, and any other exercise. When you're drinking water, you're actually oxygenating your blood. So you're putting oxygen back into your body by drinking water.
By drinking water?
Yeah, because water is made out of oxygen. It's
Yeah.
hydrogen and oxygen. Yeah. So it actually puts oxygen back into your body. You absorb oxygen through exercising. So yeah, I mean, 100%. You know, that's what I believe, and that's what a lot of the experts are saying as well. Drink 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day.
Yeah.
Drink it every day, and yeah, and obviously leave out all the other junk.
What does Mr. P have to say about that one here?
Yeah, obviously I'm not expert. My friend here is an expert about these things of diet.
Just
But,
read a lot
but
of
just to recap, yeah, there was always a narrative in the society that if sugar is good for you. Obviously, the corporate wanted to push the sugars, and the sugar basically is not good for us. That's why you've got so many people who are fat these days. It's because we eating too much sugar. If you walk literally into a supermarket, it's sugar, 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 everything is sugar. And to be honest, it's not good for you. And there was this also another narrative that if you eat a lot of fat meat, it's not good for you.
Yeah,
But the studies that were conducted recently shows that it is actually the healthiest food that you can eat. Yes.
Yes,
And my friend
saturated
here,
fats,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's basically saturated fat. So obviously the research that I've done about it, and again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but it's working for me. So saturated fats are in the past, there was always like it, I think it was around 60s, 70s, or whatever the case is, and they started saying that saturated fats are bad for you. Sugar is good for you. So that's why you started getting all like low fat yogurt, low fat this, low fat that, low fat this. And basically, that was because ultimately they wanted to. Sugar's addictive, okay? And humans are easily addicted to things like the gaming, like Netflix, things like that, social media. So, and because we're addicted to sugar, you can go and look at it. You can go and look at any sort of mainstream brand
yes.
in there of a pasta brand or whatever the case is, and go and see how much sugar there is per serving. And you're looking at 3 to 4 grams per serving in the likes of pasta, which should be like literally eggs and flour. Okay. And that's just it there. Now you can go through each of your products. I mean, I've got a chili sauce there, a hot sauce, and I looked at it per 15 ml serving is 5.2 grams of sugar. So that's more. That's 35%
50%.
sugar. Okay, because it keeps you going back for more, for more, for more, for more.
Yeah.
And then how they say it, it's insulin resistance, and basically that's what causes you to become fat, and then obviously you get cardiovascular problems, blood pressure problems, diabetes, all of these sorts of things, and we know this, and this is stuff you can read up and all of that, and
They are coming
look
from
into
sugar.
that. There's so much good data on it, but we need to get away from the sugar. So they punted that for a very, very long time. And then everybody was like, oh, sugar's great, saturated fats are bad for you, which is animal fat, cheeses, creams, butter, things like that. But I suppose in the last sort of decade, it's slowly been turning around that people have actually found out that in fact saturated fats, animal proteins are far more healthier for you today than obviously your high carbohydrates, like your breads and all of that. Your breads, you go buy your mainstream sliced breads, at the shop.
Yeah.
And I looked at it the other day. I mean, I don't eat bread at all. I looked at it the other day. For 2 slices, 4.8 grams. Those are 5 grams of sugar in 2 slices
Two
of bread.
slices. Yeah.
And you wouldn't think. Nobody would have thought.
Yeah, no, nobody will
And
even
pastas and all of that. And it really, and people are hooked onto that. So it actually is, and that's where the mind shift happens. The mind shift happens now when you decide now you want to change your diets and you want to now go to maybe a high protein, maybe a keto diet, maybe a carnivore diet, or whatever diet you choose. But as long as it's got low carbs in it, people struggle with that a lot. And the reason they do is because we're all hooked on carbs. Get a packet of chips, get a packet of crisps, that's nice. That's empty carbs, Oh, I feel like Coke. I mean, I've known people that used to drink 4 liters of Coke a day.
Yeah. I used to do so.
Yeah. And that's crazy, man. That's so bad.
It's dangerous.
That's so bad for you. But either way, at the end of the day, it's such a mind shift and a mindset. But then it also creates I mean, it also becomes discipline at the end of the day,
Yeah,
and running towards the pain and away from the pleasure.
Discipline, yes. Yeah, it's not easy not to eat the McDonald's that you are used to, or the mainstream food.
Yeah,
But it goes back to discipline. It's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Look, it's easy not to do it.
No, 100%. No, definitely. And you know what? And it's up to everybody, each to their own. Okay, all we're doing here is we're giving you guys tools, you know, to just to try and help and assist you. There's obviously, like I said, there's a hell of a lot of research. You can find so much information on YouTube. Just as long as you're looking for the right information. A lot of people like to watch crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Exercise, diet, sleep is also another good thing. I know it's not in there, and I think we'll go into more detail down there. But sleep is very important as well. And it's just becoming feeling human again, feeling alive again, feeling, you know, and that's where if you're in the right mindset and you've got everything in order, you know, that we've discussed today, when you do hit that failure, it's not going to be that difficult to pick yourself up again and carry on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like that. Yeah, and it's getting away from cheap dopamine hits, social media, gaming, streaming services, whatever the case is, and having a delayed gratification. So we know, and that's another big thing with culture at the moment is everybody wants instant gratification. We want it now.
Yes.
And then when we don't get it now,
Yeah.
then
we follow.
then we fall off, like we failed, like we're gone. And because we in that frame of mind, that's how social media caught us, that's how streaming services caught us, because it can hit us with the cheap dopamine, the 15-second minutes videos.
Yeah.
Whereas if you work on yourself now and you want to be successful, and you can have a 5-year plan, and you discipline every day, you make sure that you do X, Y, and Z, and then you've got $10 million in the bank in 5 years' time. Would that not make you feel way better and a much better dopamine hit, which is natural to us, than every day sitting scrolling?
You know the rewards of that, which is calamity. But if you choose to take a difficult path, which is a path of discipline, you will get where you are going, and the rewards are multiple. So it is like sowing a seed on the ground, and obviously, when you sow one seed, you get multiple of them. So it is basically like that when you discipline yourself. It's you like sowing yourself a seed that will then grow up to be plenty. Yes.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Yeah, that's it. You read what you say. You said it earlier on,
Yes.
and I think I made my case on that. So yeah, I mean, it's so yeah. I think yeah. No, I think we've had a good one.
Thank you, Mr. Begedi, Mr. Victor, for this great conversation of the postcard. Furthermore, I'm just going to put this as a reference, Philippians 4 verse 8. Those with the Bibles are just going to read. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such. I'm saying this because you said mindset is programmed or is a program. If mindset is a program, you have to program your mind through those ways. So these are elements of programming your mind. If you enjoyed these discussions, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Cheers, guys. Join us on the next podcast. Thank you.